The genie was not only out of the bottle, it was learning and growing at a rate that made the idea of putting it back in seem utterly naive. By the spring of 2023, the AI arms race was in full, chaotic swing. GPT-4 had just been released, demonstrating capabilities that shocked even seasoned experts and drastically shortened timelines for the potential arrival of AGI. It was in this superheated environment that Musk made his last stand for his original strategy of collective restraint. The Pause Giant AI Experiments open letter, published by the Future of Life Institute in March 2023 and signed by Musk, Steve Wozniak, and thousands of other technologists and researchers, was the final, desperate plea of the cautionary prophet. Its resounding failure to halt the industry's momentum was the final piece of evidence Musk needed to conclude that his old approach was dead and that a new, more confrontational strategy was required. The letter was a direct and urgent appeal to the AI community's conscience. It called for all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. The proposed pause was not intended to stop AI development altogether, but to create a breathing room for the industry to collaboratively develop and implement shared safety protocols, overseen by independent experts. The letter posed a series of stark, existential questions that echoed Musk's warnings from nearly a decade prior. Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? It argued that such momentous decisions must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders. The industry's response was, for all practical purposes, to ignore it. While the letter generated intense media debate, the major players, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, did not pause. The competitive and financial pressures were simply too immense. Trillions of dollars in market value were at stake, and no single company was willing to unilaterally disarm while its rivals continued to advance. The letter's failure was a clear and public demonstration that the AI race had achieved a kind of escape velocity, driven by market forces that were now beyond the control of public letters or the moral suasion of its signatories. The timing of what happened next is crucial. The pause letter was published in March 2023. Just 4 months later, in July 2023, Elon Musk officially announced the formation of xAI. This sequence is not coincidental, it represents a direct cause and effect relationship. The failure of the pause was the final data point in a multi-year experiment. Musk had tried to build a safe harbor, OpenAI, and lost control of it. He had tried to appeal to governments and was ignored. Finally, he appealed to the industry itself, and the race only accelerated. Having exhausted all avenues of collective action and containment, he was left with only one option that aligned with his worldview and operational style. If you can't stop the race, you enter it, and fight to win on your own terms. The failure of the pause was the starting gun for xAI. It was the culmination of a logical progression. Musk's thinking appears to have shifted from a belief that a dangerous AGI could be prevented, to a conviction that its arrival was inevitable. His early strategy was predicated on prevention through regulation and a controlled, non-profit research environment. When he lost control of OpenAI, his primary tool for prevention was gone. The subsequent AI boom confirmed that the process was now uncontrollable from the outside. The failed pause letter was the final proof. If a powerful AGI was coming no matter what, a rational move for someone with Musk's resources and deep-seated fears about its nature was to ensure that a good version, an AGI built according to his principles, existed to counter the bad versions he feared his competitors would create. He could no longer stop the demon, so he had to build his own angel to fight it. Part 3. The Competitor's Gambit, 2023 present. With the failure of his cautionary strategy confirmed, Elon Musk executed a decisive pivot. The period from 2023 to the present is defined by this new gambit, a direct, aggressive, and well-capitalized entry into the AI arms race. This new phase is not merely about building a competitive product, it is about constructing a vertically integrated AI empire designed to challenge the dominance of OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. It is a battle waged on multiple fronts: technological, philosophical, and financial, for what Musk perceives as the control of humanity's digital and ultimately civilizational destiny. Chapter 6. xAI. If you can't stop it, build it better. The launch of xAI in July 2023 is the cornerstone of Elon Musk's competitive strategy. The company's very identity, from its mission statement to its product's personality, is deliberately crafted as a direct philosophical and technological rebuke to what he sees as the compromised and dangerous path taken by OpenAI and other industry leaders. xAI is not just another AI startup. It is Musk's declaration of independence and his chosen vessel for building an AGI in his own image. The company's stated mission is to create AI systems that can accurately understand the universe and aid humanity in its pursuit of knowledge. This framing, understand the universe, is notably grander and more abstract than OpenAI's mission to ensure AGI benefits all of humanity. It positions AI not merely as a utilitarian tool for society, but as a fundamental partner in cosmic discovery, a vision that aligns perfectly with the long-term ambitions of SpaceX. It reframes the goal from social good to existential inquiry, a domain where Musk feels most comfortable. This philosophical positioning is most evident in xAI's flagship product, the chatbot Grok. Musk has relentlessly marketed Grok as a maximally truth-seeking AI that is untethered from the political correctness he believes constrains its rivals. Grok is designed to have a rebellious streak and a sense of humor, inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, making its interactions less formulaic and more engaging. This is a direct response to his criticism of what he perceives as the far-left ideology controlling platforms like old Twitter and, by extension, the AI models trained on their data. In a demonstration on the Joe Rogan Experience, he showcased Grok's unhinged mode, which is designed to trash-talk you while providing answers, explicitly branding it as an edgier, more entertaining alternative. Furthermore, Musk has wielded the concept of open source as a powerful ideological weapon. After years of lambasting OpenAI for abandoning its open source principles and becoming a closed, proprietary entity beholden to Microsoft, he has positioned xAI as the true heir to that original vision. He is committed to open sourcing xAI's models such as Grok, a move that serves a dual purpose. Strategically, it attracts a global community of developers and researchers, accelerating innovation and adoption in a way that can challenge the resource-heavy, closed models of competitors. Ideologically, it allows him to claim the moral high ground that he argues OpenAI abdicated, framing xAI as the truly open AI company fighting for transparency and decentralization against secretive corporate giants. Chapter 7. The Vertically Integrated AI Ecosystem. Elon Musk's strategy extends far beyond creating a standalone AI company. His masterstroke is the construction of a synergistic, vertically integrated ecosystem where his portfolio of companies, X, Tesla, Neuralink, and SpaceX, are being woven together with xAI at the center. This approach provides xAI with unparalleled competitive advantages in the form of proprietary data, real-world testing environments, and a clear path to monetization and deployment. It is an attempt to build an unassailable moat that no competitor, not even Google or Microsoft, can easily replicate. X, formerly Twitter, is the foundational layer of this ecosystem, serving as both the data wellspring and the distribution engine. The controversial $44 billion acquisition of Twitter in 2022 can now be recontextualized as a strategic masterstroke for his AI ambitions. It provided him with a massive, real-time, proprietary firehose of human conversation, text, images, and videos, that is an invaluable and unique data set for training Grok. While competitors scrape the public web, Musk owns the platform. This symbiotic relationship is now official, with xAI acquiring X in 2025 to formally combine data, models, compute, distribution, and talent. X is also the primary platform for distributing and monetizing Grok, which is offered as a premium feature to subscribers, and its ad infrastructure is being overhauled by xAI to improve targeting and delivery. Tesla represents the next layer, the proving ground for embodied AI. While competitors operate primarily in the digital realm, Tesla's long-standing work on full self-driving and its ambitious Tesla Bot project provide xAI with a direct path to deploying AI in the physical world. The millions of Tesla vehicles on the road act as a global data-gathering fleet, collecting vast quantities of real-world video and sensor data that is essential for training robust vision and decision-making models. Musk has explicitly stated that the Optimus robot will be a primary recipient of this AI, envisioning a future where humanoid robots can perform general-purpose tasks. He has even proposed sending an Optimus robot to Mars as a scout on an early Starship flight, directly linking the AI efforts at Tesla with the ambitions of SpaceX. Neuralink is the ultimate expression of Musk's AI philosophy, the endgame of a direct, high-bandwidth merger between human and artificial intelligence. Musk has long argued that for humans to remain relevant in an age of superintelligence, they must augment their own cognitive abilities. Neuralink's goal is to create a brain-computer interface that serves as this tertiary cognition layer. The progress of Neuralink, which has successfully implanted devices in human patients, is predicated on the existence of a powerful, trustworthy AGI to merge with. From this perspective, XAI is not just building a competitor to ChatGPT, it is building the digital mind with which Neuralink will eventually interface. Finally, SpaceX serves as the civilizational insurance policy and the ultimate application for a trusted AGI. Musk's mission to make humanity a multiplanetary species is his ultimate hedge against all existential risks, including a rogue AI. However, the immense complexity of establishing a self-sustaining city on Mars, requiring autonomous construction, resource management, and life support systems, is impossible without extremely advanced AI. He cannot entrust this monumental, species-critical task to an AI built by a competitor like Google or one he no longer controls like OpenAI. He needs an AGI that he built, that he trusts, and that is aligned with his specific vision for humanity's expansion into the cosmos. Chapter 8. The Financial Underpinnings of the Pivot. Elon Musk's audacious pivot from AI critic to AGI competitor was not merely a change in philosophy, it was a strategic maneuver made possible by an unprecedented accumulation of financial power. The period between 2020 and 2023 saw his personal net worth and the valuations of his key companies, Tesla and SpaceX, skyrocket to astronomical levels. This explosion of wealth provided him with the raw capital and market leverage necessary to undertake ventures on the scale of acquiring a global social media platform and self-funding a new company to compete in the ultra-expensive AI arms race. The most significant driver of this financial empowerment was the meteoric rise of Tesla's stock. At the start of 2020, Musk's net worth was estimated at around $27 billion. By the end of 2021, driven by a historic bull run in TSLA shares, his net worth had surpassed $300 billion, making him the wealthiest person in the world by a staggering margin. This wealth was not just on paper. Although he famously takes no salary from Tesla, his massive stock holdings gave him the ability to secure billions in personal loans and the confidence to liquidate portions of his holdings to fund new ventures. The 2020 stock split, followed by another in 2022, made ownership more accessible and further fueled market enthusiasm, solidifying Tesla's position as a trillion-dollar company for a time. Simultaneously, his private aerospace company, SpaceX, was undergoing its own dramatic valuation growth. While not publicly traded, successive funding rounds saw its valuation climb from roughly $74 billion in 2021 to a reported $350 billion by a tender offer in late 2024, with some projections reaching even higher. As the majority owner of this aerospace juggernaut, Musk's personal balance sheet was further fortified, giving him a dual engine of immense value creation in both the public and private markets. This immense financial firepower was the direct enabler of his competitive gambit. The $44 billion acquisition of Twitter in 2022 was a clear demonstration of his willingness and ability to deploy massive capital to secure a strategic asset. While the purchase was fraught with legal battles and financed in part by debt, it was a move that would have been unthinkable for almost any other individual on the planet. This acquisition was immediately followed by the launch of XAI in 2023, a venture that requires billions in ongoing investment to compete for top talent and, more importantly, for the vast computational resources, GPUs, needed to train frontier AI models. Musk's financial standing allowed him to bypass the traditional venture capital route that OpenAI had to pursue, giving him total control over XAI's mission and direction from day one. His wealth didn't just give him a seat at the table, it allowed him to build his own table. The apparent contradiction in Elon Musk's stance on artificial intelligence is not, upon deeper analysis, a contradiction at all. It is a rational, albeit audacious, evolution of strategy in response to a radically changed technological and competitive landscape. His core belief, that AGI represents a power of civilizational scale consequence with the potential for both immense benefit and existential peril, has remained remarkably consistent. What has changed, profoundly and irrevocably, is his assessment of how to best influence that power. The definitive turning point can be pinpointed to the period between his 2018 departure from the OpenAI board and the publicly ignored Pause AI letter of March 2023. The first event created the motive for his pivot. By losing control of OpenAI, he was stripped of his chosen instrument for guiding AI safety from within, turning him from an insider into an alienated and critical outsider. The events that followed, OpenAI's embrace of a for-profit model and its deep alliance with Microsoft, solidified his view that his creation had been co-opted by the very forces he sought to counter. The second event, the failure of the Pause letter, eliminated his last remaining alternative strategy and created the necessity for direct competition. The letter was a final public test of whether the global AI community could self-regulate in the face of overwhelming